The last time I saw my sister was 4 years ago, on the morning of New Year's Eve. We had arranged to meet at the Miami International Airport where I was waiting for a flight to New York that I had booked for the afternoon. Well, midday to be precise. I had spoken to my sister on the phone 3 days earlier after finding her on social media. We had never been close. Not at all is the right word. And once she graduated, she left home to go to college, and no one knew where she was after that. She just vanished. Since I never had the chance to properly bond with her, she was a distant memory to me. And for years, my family barely knew what she was doing with her life. So my stopover in Miami was a unique chance to finally reunite after all this time apart. It was very early in the morning. I bought a large cappuccino to fight off my fatigue. I hadn't slept the night before. My body felt heavy and my mind exhausted. I waited for my sister near a small coffee shop. As I saw her coming through the crowd, I thought she looked different from what I remembered. With dyed blonde hair, a slimmer figure, her whole style had drastically changed. She was wearing a little black dress with a beige leather jacket and red heels, desperately stylish and clearly overdressed for the occasion. The memory I had of her old, unkempt teen rebel look from suburbia instantly turned into the vision of an elegant makeover that screamed, I'm in control, fashion chic, and not to be messed with. She ran to hug me tightly. Oh, sweetie, my dear sister, I've missed you so much. I can't believe it's been, what, 4 years? It seems like an eternity, but look at you, all grown up. You're like 19 already. How incredible is that? I'm 21, actually. Maybe you would know that if you only had bothered to call me for my birthday. I don't know why I said that. It sounded so sullen and harsh, but it just flew out of my mouth like I was thinking out loud, and the words escaped from me. I froze, but my sister just laughed it off. What did it matter? Who uses Snapchat to arrange a long due family reunion in an airport lounge anyway? Oh, honey, I promise that I'll make it up to you. Come on, I got us a reservation at a restaurant called La Estancia. It's right off gate 5. Let's go. I must be honest, I felt very uninspired then. This whole charade of trying to catch up with each other's lives was clearly a mistake, and my sister was as disappointing as ever. What was I thinking? People don't change. She was still a liar, an emotional con artist, still pulling the blanket aside even after all these years of leaving me behind. The nerve! Not a single letter, no email, not even a text message. I would have been happy just to get a stupid emoji from her. No wonder she didn't know my age. Memories of sadness ran through my mind, so we went to La Estancia. Once we got to the restaurant, we were welcomed by an old looking waiter. He was unusually tall and he wore a toupee. The place was beautiful and bright with all the Christmas lights still hanging. December is the most beautiful time of the year. My sister used to say that when we were younger. Good morning, ladies. Here's the menu. Let me know when you are ready to order. What would you like to eat? I mumbled half-heartedly, thinking to myself, next thing we'll be talking about the weather. Ugh. But my sister looked vibrant and bubbly. I think I'll get the... I quickly interrupted her. Why did you cut me off from your life? Why did you stop talking to me? I really want to know. I'm starving. Let's order now, she continued, unabashed. Are you even listening to me? I said in an angry tone. Mesonero, quisiera pedir una fajita con frijoles, por favor. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I don't understand Spanish, the waiter apologized. Esto no me lo puedo creer. How can you not speak Spanish in Miami? Esto es increíble. Usted debería entender lo que le estoy diciendo. This is the worst airport restaurant I've ever been in my entire life, she complained while flapping the menu off the table. I stood in shock. What was wrong with her? But she kept whining in two languages about the waiter's incompetence. She was bemused, and it was rather funny to see everyone's confused faces around us. Yes, she was that loud. I was so ashamed of her attitude. I couldn't even look at the waiter. Me voy de aquí. No pienso volver más nunca. Este servicio es terrible, she shouted, standing up and ready to storm out of there. Have you lost your mind? Why are you making such a big deal about this poor guy not speaking Spanish? Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to leave, the waiter gently said. Sir, we won't leave until my sister apologizes to you. I insisted generously just to save myself. Jamás me disculparé, she went on hysterically. I'll sue this place for the outrageous service. Hasta nunca. She yelled across the room as she stepped out in style perched off her red stilettos. What a disgrace, I sighed. I was beside myself. Somehow he always had to find a way to make a scene and ruin everything. My sister held my hand, took a deep breath, and whispered, Let's go someplace else. I know a cute little French pastry shop nearby. I think you'll love it. We took the elevator down to the first floor, where we found a small French pastry shop. Everything looked so delicious. It made me hungry, and I hoped for things to go much better than in the previous eatery. I was petrified at the idea of being ashamed for my sister's rudeness. I just wished to finally understand what had gotten into her mind the day she decided to never come home. Although I had the clearest impression that nothing sensible would ever come out of her mouth. Bonjour, my sister greeted grandly as we walked in. Bonjour, how can I help you? Kindly asked the young man behind the counter. Je voudrais un pain au chocolat parfaitement cuit, deux parts de gâteau aux fraises et un café sans trop de sucre. S'il vous plaît, my sister ordered in a quick voice. Sorry, come again? The waiter said, confused. Sure. Je voudrais un pain au chocolat parfaitement cuit. He meant in English. I gently told my sister. Yes, I meant in English, the waiter said. I can't take your order in French. It would be too chaotic because no one here knows how to parler français. Pardon, my French, he added with a laugh. Mais qu'est-ce que c'est cet endroit? Ils ont le toupet de prétendre être une pâtisserie française, alors qu'ils ne parlent même pas la langue. Quelle bande d'hypocrites! This is an insult for your customers, you know? My sister shouted, pointing a perfectly polished finger at the waiter. God, will you stop? I don't have time for this, I protested desperately. Could we please just for once eat in peace? I'm starving and running out of patience, and all you do is argue with the waiters. My sister stared at me in a funny way, like it was the first time she was really looking at me. I'm sorry, she said. I just ordered 2 coffees. I'll promise I'll be good so you can eat quietly and we'll talk. How does that sound? Now I only have 30 minutes before my flight, I grumbled. We better hurry. We share a few stories about our lives, and I learned she was married to the CEO of a prestigious company in Florida, with whom she had 2 daughters. She worked crazy hours at the Bank of America and barely had any time to rest. My sister seemed very keen to know about my life as well, especially my career as a ballerina. The glitter and the glamour of it all, that was what fascinated her. Unsurprisingly, plus the fact that I was such a cool thing to mention at a cocktail party for a greedy social detail like My sister was a ballerina? Or maybe I'm judging her too hard. She can be really sweet when she wants to. Anyway, that's when I heard the name Sugar Plum Fairy again. It had been a while since someone last called me by my childhood money. My sister had made it up, nicknaming me after my favorite ballet piece. Suddenly, I shook at the thought that this could be the last time we were together before long. Final call for boarding. Final call for boarding. This is the final boarding call for passengers booked on flight UA 1875 to New York. Please proceed to gate 5 immediately. I repeat, this is the final boarding call for flight UA 1875 to New York. Thank you. It's time, sis. I really have to go. It was so nice to hang out with you again, I said for lack of better words. I hope we can do this again very soon. Don't be a stranger. Wait, this is for you. You'll find all the answers you need to your questions. Have a nice flight. I'll miss you. She smiled as she handed me a sealed pink envelope that supposedly contained the story of her past. And as I surmised, also the reasons why she left. She kissed my forehead and gave me a side hug before vanishing into the crowd. That was the last time I saw my sister.